Imagine a student, 16 years old, at the end of their secondary education here in England. One of the most important qualifications is their English language GCSE because they need a pass to move on to the next phase of their education and for many jobs. Each year there's a different text to read and questions to answer. Our student is reading a story about a young woman staying in a hostel in Australia. Her mother arrives and complains about the dirt and lack of security. The student needs to show that they understand the mother's complaints, but our student is struggling because the only time she's heard of a hostel before is as a homeless hostel. What the exam needs her to show is that she knows that hostels can also be cheap holiday accommodation. But what if none of your family or friends have ever gone backpacking? What if you've never been on holiday? What if you don't live in the country near a youth hostel? How are you supposed to have experienced that meaning of the word? I am a teacher, and the example I've given is a real one where students struggled with this word. And my research is motivated by me wanting to help students, no matter what their background and where they live, have the knowledge they need for their exam. Research into vocabulary tells us that the best way to learn new words is through repeated experience in meaningful contexts. But where can students experience the words that will be in the exams? Will it be in their lessons at school, their reading for pleasure at home, or just in their everyday lives? I used corpus linguistics, a computerized form of language analysis, to identify where the words from the exams were most likely to be found. And what I discovered was that they were most likely to be found in older traditional fiction and poetry. But students already study these types of texts for their literature GCSE, and the literature curriculum is criticised for its lack of diversity and representation and its dependence on the writings of dead white men. If success in the English language exam simply duplicates this knowledge, then surely we need to reconsider the exam. I started by wanting to help students improve their vocabulary for their language exam, but now I think it's the exam that needs to change, so that it no longer depends on the writing of dead white men, but instead draws on the words and language of children's lessons, of the books they read for pleasure and their everyday lives. That way, maybe more students will have a fairer chance of doing well, no matter what their background or where they live.